Burruchaga with the game winner 4 years ago for Argentina. Those same two nations battle for the cup moments from now. At halftime, part 2 of Craig Sager's report on the World Cup coming to the United States in 1994. But now we head to Rome, where Bob Neal and Mick Luckhurst have the call for the final. I'll see you again at the half.
The following is a presentation of TNT Sports, where the National Football League kicks off on August 19th.
Mexico City, 1986. With only 6 minutes to play, Jorge Burruchaga takes a pass from Maradona and lifts Argentina to the top of the world. 4 years later, in the first ever rematch of the previous World Cup final, defending champions Argentina meet West Germany for soccer's biggest prize. Both teams are World Cup perennials, each with the opportunity to equal Brazil and Italy as the only 3-time winners. The Germans are appearing in their 3rd straight final, while Argentina has reached the last match in 3 of the last 4 competitions. It's a matchup of German speed and balance against the brilliance of Diego Maradona, whose very presence can dominate a game with or without the ball. It's the culmination of the world's greatest sporting event, coming up next, live on TNT. Along with Mick Luckhurst, this is Bob Neal at Olympic Stadium in Rome on the banks of the Tiber River. 2 years ago, teams from 115 nations began the competition to get here today. Over the past month, in 12 cities in Italy, there have been 51 games. And now there are 2 teams remaining. And Mick, the interesting thing here is they are the same 2 teams who played in the last World Cup. Argentina, the defending world champion, and the favorite for this World Cup, West Germany.
That's right. And in '86, it was Diego Maradona that dominated the tournament. And for Argentina to win today, he must dominate this game. Unfortunately for him, they've got 4 players suspended due to yellow cards and 1 red card. That means he's going to have to move further back, and that's only going to hurt Argentina's chances. On the other side of the ball, though, Germany's strength is their whole team. They're all good players. The key players, though, Bremer in the back, Matea's in the midfield. Up front, it's Fuller and Klinsmann. Between them, they've scored 12 goals. Should be a great game, and I think Germany's going to dominate.
It'll be the emotion and the determination of Argentina and the power and the strength of West Germany. Italia 90 kicks off right after this. Olympic Stadium in Rome. You're looking at the flags of West Germany. There are 80,000 fans here today. We estimate in the neighborhood of 25,000 West German fans, around 10,000 fans who have bought tickets from Argentina. During this match, though, it'll be about 50-50 as the game gets going. West Germany, the favorite to win the World Cup in 1990. Argentina, the defending champions. The West Germans will be wearing their white jerseys, and Argentina the blue. The World Cup, 11 pounds, being brought into the stadium prior to this game. It will be on display at the halfway line in front of the VIP stand. They're playing for 11 pounds of bronze, and oh, what it means to the country that will win.
In 1966, when I was watching the World Cup, never did I think I would be here in this sort of environment and atmosphere to witness such a great event. This is going to be a great game, and the man at the back of the screen there, Diego Maradona, is going to play a major part in it if the men in blue expect to win.
He is standing beside number 7, Jorge Burruchaga. They call him Maradona's lieutenant out of the midfield. Burruchaga was the man who collected the Maradona pass in 1986 to beat West Germany. Argentina had taken a lead in that game, 2-0, and then the comeback, and then Argentina scored to win.
They have played 45 minutes in Rome in the World Cup final. West Germany and Argentina scoreless. I'm Ernie Johnson in our TNT World Cup studio in Atlanta. This is one of several cities which will bid to become sites for World Cup 1994 when it comes to the U.S. Craig Sager now wraps up a two-part report on what the U.S. must do to be ready for '94.
Youth programs are the basic foundation for the popularity of sports in America. In the past several months, soccer has made huge strides into the mainstream of American interest. In terms of participation, the #1 team sport in the world is now third in the United States. The 1990 U.S. World Cup team took its place on the international stage and set a standard for future teams to improve upon.
When we started the Dallas Cowboys in the 60s, we were an expansion club, and we were just starting way behind everybody else. And that's what we see in soccer today. I mean, our USA team is starting behind a lot of people, but in the next 4 years and on, they're going to improve rapidly. I mean, I think the game is going to grow in the United States, and when it does, it's going to catch on, and we're going to be able to bring more of our better athletes, into the soccer program.
The U.S. Soccer Federation has developed a plan for the reorganization of professional soccer in the U.S. However, so far, there is no timetable for the beginning of this league. And as a result, the more popular soccer in the U.S. continues to be of the indoor variety.
The purists of soccer are going to say that the indoor game is not real soccer, but yet it's the only professional soccer we have right now. I think that our chances in the World Cup definitely are hurt by not having a professional outdoor league. And it's also something that hurts the sport of soccer because the kids have no one to emulate.
This summer, soccer camps are being conducted in all 50 states. And as a result of the recent exposure of the World Cup, some kids want to be the next Tony Meola, just as others want to be the next Michael Jordan.
I think particularly in this goalkeeper camp, the kids are kind of excited that, that I'm here and that they were able to see me, maybe unfortunately enough in the games that we played. But the campers seem to be a little more excited from what I can gather. And I think the overall reaction of how we did has been pretty good, and that's pretty gratifying for us.
This summer, one of the youngest teams in World Cup history played on the soil of the country with the richest soccer heritage and lost 1-0. With the World Cup coming to the United States in 1994, there are indications that the gap between the two countries is narrowing. Craig Sager, TNT, at the '90 World Cup.
All right, thank you, Craig Sager. Still to come here at halftime, Paul Ryden reflects on his travels in Italy, as only he can. And welcome back to World Cup 1990. It has been our pleasure over the past month to bring you Paul Ryden's series of Michelin travelogues. He has basically seen it all and done it all in Italy. And if you've missed any of it all, here's Paul's journey to Italy in a nutshell.
So I get this assignment to go to Italy for the World Cup, only I'm not supposed to talk about soccer. Instead, I'm supposed to talk about the country, which is fine with me since I don't know squat about soccer. Sorry, I mean football. The boss says go where you want to go and do what you want to do and stay as long as you want. And I say, hey, how about some freedom? Maybe this is just your way of getting rid of me. So I go to Italy as the average American, since that's what I am, a 37-year-old father of one, the husband of another one, and I find there's husbands and fathers in Italy, too. Rome was cool. We saw the Pope. I don't think he saw us. Then we went to Bari, wherever that is, and discovered some neat souvenirs, but they broke in my suitcase on the way home, so I had to replace them at the Atlanta airport. One night we had dinner with a strange family, only they weren't that strange, except for the fact that they let 3 Americans they'd never seen before in their house with lights and cameras and appetites and said, fix us a typical Italian meal or we won't put you on TV, which must have really scared them because they did it. Then we went to Naples, where everybody said they really loved their football, boy, only they never heard of the 49ers, like I'm sure they're really into football. Then we drove to Sardinia the next day, even though I says it's an island and I think we should fly. And speaking of flies, we go on a search for something called worm cheese, and I do a stand-up on camera with a hunk of cheese, only I don't like cheese, and I tell the cameraman, and he goes, duh. Yeah.
Formaggio. Formaggio means worm. Formaggio means what was wrong with one before that?
Sicily was next, only I don't remember much about it since this guy was like yelling in my ear, only I don't speak French, so I hope this isn't like dirty. If that was dirty, sorry, just write to me here in America and we'll take it off since my boss would really appreciate that. And maybe next time we're together I can tell you about the rest of my trip, only now I'm out of time, so ciao.
And we're back. Hope you've recovered from that last ride and report. The World Cup final has West Germany and Argentina scoreless at the break. Here's a look at some action from the first 45 minutes as they play this in Rome. And they're, of course, the hardware they're playing for, the World Cup. And here's a good chance for West Germany. Lothar Matthäus to Rudi Völler, who, for some reason, does not pull the trigger. Argentina will get it away from him, and West Germany stays off the board. They have outshot Argentina 5-1 to this point, but still nobody on the board, 0-0 at halftime. And so they head for the second half in Rome. At least 45 minutes to go to crown a champion of World Cup 1990. We'll be going back to Bob Neal and Mick Luckhurst right after this.
The Colosseum in Rome, in the old section of ancient Rome. Of course, the place where the Christians and the Lions combated each other. This game of significantly less importance in the minds of the combatants on the field visited the Colosseum just yesterday in the ancient section of Rome. It's about 8 miles away from Olympic Stadium where we have this game. Olympic Stadium on the bank of the Tiber River in the northwestern section of Rome.
Someone said they were told the age of the building and said that even Italians should have been able to finish it by now. I don't believe that story, and I certainly don't agree with it.
One of the local jokes. Here it is 0-0, Argentina and West Germany, along with Mick Luckhurst, Bob Neal with you. As you look at an aerial view of the Tiber River, and beside it, Olympic Stadium. This stadium and the athletic facilities built beside it, you see the red brick building down there, were constructed under the dictatorship of Mussolini. Argentina has made one substitution. You see him going on to the field now. That is Pedro Monzon. He's a tall stopper. He scored versus Romania, 28 years old. And he is replacing Oscar Ruggeri. Ruggeri has been playing with a groin injury. He'll have an operation after the World Cup is over, and you see that the United States is represented here at least via the flag, even though the United States team was 3 games and out in the opening round.
A lot of people here from the 94 organizing committee, a lot of excitement about America getting the World Cup in 94.
West Germany, the 1990 champions of the World Cup, 1-0. Our Budweiser player of the game is the man who runs, who leads this team on the field, Lothar Matthäus.
That's right, Bob. Beckenbauer has something that he likes in a football player, and Matthäus exemplifies that. He has led them throughout this World Cup, both on and off the field. Normally you hear about stories off the field. There's been none of that coming from the German camp, and that's thanks to Beckenbauer and Matthäus. So he deserves it, not just for today's game, but for this whole tournament.
Well, this game was won by West Germany because of a foul in the penalty area. Rudi Völler, who took a great pass from our player of the game, Matthäus, was pulled down in the penalty area.
That's right. It's a great pass through by Matthäus, sets it up for Völler. Again, Völler making a great play. Pushes it to the side. He knows how close the defender is. Goes down. Clearly a penalty. Bad decision by Sensini, but a good play by Völler. Then we see Bremer with a tremendous penalty. Right foot into the left corner as we look at it. Excellent stuff, and perhaps appropriately, this game ends for Argentina at the penalty spot. They're the most, they've fouled the most in this tournament. They've had 20-some players sent off or booked. An atrocious World Cup for them, but a great World Cup for West Germany. They've gone through as one of the favourites, if not the favourite, the whole tournament, and they've deserved to win it this year. 1990 world champions.
We'll be back after this. Goals. Right foot. Goal, West Germany! The change-up from Bremer.
In the World Cup final, West Germany 1, Argentina 0. Ernie Johnson back in our TNT World Cup studio. Here's the way it went in Rome in the final this afternoon. It was scoreless in the first half. We now go to the 63rd minute, and this is a World Cup first as Pedro Monzon takes down Jurgen Klinsmann, and that's the first time a player was red-carded in the final match. Monzon's out of there. Just over 5 minutes to play. You see Rudi Völler taken down in the box. Would it be a penalty kick? Yes, it would be. And Andreas Bremer, just a perfect shot into the corner. Goycochea can't get there, and that is the lone goal of the game. West Germany with a 1-0 victory over Argentina. Bodo Illgner, the West German keeper, did not have to make a save all day long against Argentina, playing without 4 of its stars. Next on TNT, it's the last days of Pompeii, starring Alan Hale and Basil Rathbone. So we have seen today the World Cup decided, but Salvatore Schillaci, he is the winner of the 1990 Golden Boot. Here's a short tribute to Salvatore Schillaci. Salvatore Schillaci takes the Golden Boot away from Gary Lineker. It is awards time in Rome for West Germany. Let's go back to Bob Neal and Mick Luckhurst in Rome. Yeah, Mick with the see y'all. Thank you very much from Rome. Before we go today, got some people we want to thank for their help in bringing you the World Cup. Our studio analysts, Kyle Rowe Jr. and Tony Miola, and Dr. Joe Macknick. Keith Tozer, the head coach of the Atlanta Attack of the National Professional Soccer League. He has been with us here in the studios from day one, and his knowledge of the game helped us all get a better handle on the finer points. Ed Mooney, Big Ed, our stat man, didn't miss a kick, didn't have to give him a yellow card the whole time, and researcher Scott Larison, a.k.a. Gus America. He was our researcher. Our producers, Mike Klatt and Hammond Reynolds, and that'll do it for World Cup 1990. West Germany, the champs. For our entire TNT staff and for our announcers in Italy, Bob Neal and Mick and John Paul Della Camera and Rick Davis and Randy Hahn and Ty Keogh, I'm Ernie Johnson. Thanks for watching our coverage of World Cup 1990. Remember, it's the NFL Sunday nights on TNT this fall. Have a good night.